Hey man, this is the coach.
And I'm the Beacon. And this is the Point Blank Perspectives Podcast.
Hey, Beacon man, somebody asked me this question.
Okay.
No, well, yeah, it was a question. It was two gentlemen over my house.
Okay.
This is I forget when exactly, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
And he just gotten, me and the other guy is married.
Okay.
We are married. Not together, but he has his wife.
I know.
I just say, listen, I gotta put it out
there.
Be
clear.
Because that did sound a little suspect. Yo, me and this guy, we married. So I was like, you know what? Let me. Yeah, okay, so back.
So you married,
and
the other guy's married,
the
and then there's another guy there who's not
married.
Okay.
And he just got into, you know what? The other guy that's married, my main man Chuck. Chuck, don't kill me. You remember this conversation, Chuck? I'm gonna let everybody know that. Yeah, so me and Chuck and another gentleman there.
And Chuck is the other guy that's married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he married. And you know Chuck.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure the listeners are clear.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
And so me and Chuck and the guy, we all standing around there, ready to take a shot of tequila or whatever. And the guy was like, yo, man, let me ask y'all two something. So we like, yeah, what's going on? He like, man, when me and my girl, when we, before we actually got into the relationship, but we were just dating and figuring it out, we was having sex all the time.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I don't know where this is going, I didn't say nothing right away because I'm like, all right, what are we doing here? As Kevin Hart used to say, what are we doing here? So, and then he said, now we in a relationship, and it's like, we barely having sex. I looked at Chuck looked at me, and we cracked up laughing. So he was like, yo, what's so funny? I said, young rookie, when you get in a relationship, it's just not going to be about sex all the time. That's just not going to happen. So what we're talking about is, would it be the sex frequency?
I mean, I guess that's what it could be, because you're talking about how often are you supposed to have sex and stuff like that?
Well, I'm not a sexologist, but I'm just going.
Well, neither am I.
Okay, but I think for me, a lot of men fall into that situation where they're in a relationship and they're having sex frequently, and they believe that and I'm speaking for married people.
Okay.
Oh, when I get married, we gonna keep on that ain't gonna happen like that. No. Married men out there understand what I'm saying. It ain't like,
Yeah.
No.
I understand what you're saying, because I would think it's just like anything else. Like, it's fun in the beginning and it's new and
Right.
all that, and then after a while, like you said, life starts happening and it's more about other things with y'all trying to get life together.
Exactly.
And so that becomes less of a focus or a priority.
Yeah.
So, no, that makes sense.
And like for a
well, let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
What range of age is the person that asked that question? So, like, were they like between 20, 30, between 30, 40?
Between 25, 35.
Okay, yeah. So that matters too, because depending on where you are in your life, depends on probably how much focus and excitement you have about sex. I would think. I mean, because obviously all men at all ages want sex.
Right.
But there's a huge difference in wanting sex in your 30s versus wanting sex when you like 18 or in your, you know what I'm saying, or early 20s.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious to know about the age of.
Got you. And I think, so let me ask you this question.
What's up?
As a single man.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do the best that I can.
Okay. That's fine. What are the number of times a man that is single or married expects sex when they are,
When they single?
Yeah.
Like, how often are we thinking about sex when we single?
Not thinking about it. How often do you believe
you should have it?
Okay. Expect it.
No, but so are we talking about like within a month? Within
whatever. Let's give it a month.
All right. It's kind of hard to say because I think it depends on what's going on in life. Because at least for me, my focus on that depends on like what else I have going on.
Okay.
So like for example, when I was and that's why I brought up the age thing. When I was younger, like it was always on my mind.
Got you.
So it was like every day I'm thinking about it and that
Right.
sort of thing. Whereas as I've gotten older and now I got things that I'm trying to accomplish or things that I'm actually doing, it becomes less of a focus. But I think,
It's still there, but it's not to the forefront, you're saying.
yeah, exactly,
Got you. Okay.
exactly. But I think as a single man, from a monthly perspective, I would give a minimum number. I would say a single man at minimum would probably want to have sex somewhere between 2 to 4 times in a month
Okay.
because either bi-weekly or every week you probably would like to
Okay.
have sex at minimum. Now, obviously, if you can, what I'm saying, you like to do it more than that.
Right.
But I think the easiest way to answer that question is at the minimum.
Got
answer.
you. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
How about as a married man?
That's tricky
Okay.
because there's a lot of moving parts that's in play,
Fair.
especially if you're talking about you have little kids.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah. And that actually matters when you single too.
Right.
But I don't. That's not my story, so I didn't even account for that.
Right.
But, yeah.
And if you got kids,
Mhm.
little kids,
I
all
heard stories about them. I heard they don't let you get nothing in.
it get rough sometimes. You just gotta be able to what word I'm looking for? You gotta be able to
Got to be able to improvise.
you better be able to improvise. And a lot of times it's kids that come and play. It's as all men single or married,
Mhm.
if it's that time of the month.
Mm.
But where married come into play, if we're not paying attention when it's that time of the month, it's supposed to show up,
Mhm.
and they can throw that back up in our face. We be like, oh, all right, or I got a headache. That's single or married.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But see, most times when you single, if they know before they even get over to where you at.
right, and then
So-
you be like, all right, just go to somebody else different. Yeah, you can you have your options.
Well, yeah, because when you single, yeah, that's true. You have
your
options.
options.
So yeah, that's true.
But we're talking, and then if we're talking about married, we're not talking about people that's hopping around. You married, but you still playing like you single. We're talking about married people. Men, sometimes we get frustrated
Mhm.
because now I'm gonna say for me and my wife,
Mhm.
it's we could be sitting up there, beacon, and foreplay. That's big in marriage.
Okay.
For married people, the foreplay is big.
Mhm.
Where me and Angie, we oh yeah, this and that. We texted, yeah. I get to the bed. I look at her. Yo, just turn the TV down. Man.
Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
No. Turn the TV down. I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. I see you.
See, you fake news, man. You fake news. You done hyped up all day, then you come home, go to sleep.
Listen.
Poor cousin.
Listen. And it happens both ways.
Uh-huh. That's
But
hilarious.
that's come from. I'm keeping it real, man.
No, that is real. Because I mean, like I've always said, like I've been in relationships before, and that is a real thing. Like,
That's a real thing, especially you working.
Mm-hmm.
Now we working. You got kids. Your attentions are to, yeah,
your heart is in the right place.
your heart's in the right place, but all the moving parts before you even get to the main event, it's not even going to happen. You just want to go to sleep.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just be like,
And then I guess when you factor in that you have like a kid, like you also got to factor in too. All right, yeah, we can stay up and do that, but we got to get up and
Go to
or
work
that
the
kid
next-
gonna come in the room early in the morning, or we got to go to work the next day. So it's a lot of things that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But again, that's why I said that age thing matters, because when you younger, a lot of those things don't really apply. Well, in most cases, a lot of those things don't really apply. And so that's why the focus sometimes when you talk to younger people, is so high on that.
Right.
Versus as you get older, because as you get older, you get more responsibility, or at least hopefully you're getting more responsibility, and that becomes less of a focal area for you.
Yeah. To a certain degree, what you're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm married and I'm younger
Mm-hmm.
and kids is in play and we're both working, it don't matter if you older or younger.
Mm-hmm.
When those moving parts are moving and you're trying to keep up, your intentions are, you know what, we're gonna spend time, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I get I get up 2:15 for work. So if I get in the bed 10:30,
Mm-hmm.
and our intentions are, yo, this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm laying down, I'm thinking, oh, shucks, I got to get up in a few hours.
Yeah.
You know what? I can do it tomorrow.
But you in rare air, though, because most people don't got to get up at 2:15 in the morning, so that makes perfect sense.
I get it, but I'm just like, you know what? I could do it another day.
Right.
You know what? She ain't going nowhere.
Live to fight another day.
right. She ain't going nowhere. We are here. And then I'd be like, she look at me, she be like, you tired? Yeah. She be like, all right. She said, okay, go to sleep. Oh, good. Go get out. Go get out. Thanks, Mom. I'm going to sleep.
Not go to sleep.
Go to sleep. It's okay. Thanks, Mom. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I mean?
hilarious.
But
no, that's real though. That's real.
Right.
That's real.
And also as far as married,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you got a lot of times where it's like I said, it's a lot again, it's a lot of moving parts. It's you may want to hope to have it you once 2 to 4 times a month, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you may be able to do it 1 time a month.
Mm.
Again, I'm telling you, things happen. You listen, and then you get to the point. Well, and this is one thing that me and Angie have never ran into.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a relationship, if you're married,
Mm-hmm.
and you and your wife get in an argument,
Mm-hmm.
sex is a weapon. They use it.
Mm-mm.
They will use the sex as a weapon,
Mm-mm.
and that's bad.
That's real bad.
That's bad. But people use sex as a weapon and on some.
Now, when you say use sex as a weapon, like, I guess just give detail, make sure people know what you mean. Like,
where the man is getting ready. I won't say man or woman, because men are starting to do the same thing now. Use sex as a weapon, but the y'all just had an argument, or the person may be in their feelings that you said something. The man say something to the woman in their feelings, and then when it's time, nah, I'm tired. I ain't giving nothing. But the way it's said to you, and you know it's because of what happened earlier.
Yeah.
And I had to tell one lady, I said, y'all ladies that keep on doing that, even though they are wrong, and I'm going to get crucified for saying this, but I don't care. You will make your husband you keep on saying no. As men, we'll be like, you know what? All right, no problem. And now someone else catches their eye. And now you pissed off about, why you do this to me? No, you come on, let's be real. So you got to be careful. Ladies, be careful. Not ladies. Let me take that back. Anybody that's using sex as a weapon, stop it.
Yeah.
That's unfair.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially like you're saying when y'all are married or in a committed situation, because
Right.
you putting that person in a position to where you're opening up another door.
That is true.
Because, yeah, ideally you're in this relationship and you expect that they shouldn't go outside of the relationship, just because of that. But at the same time, if you're constantly using that against them,
Right.
and not allowing them to feel fulfilled in that way,
Right.
then naturally they're going to start wandering and start being curious about other things. And if there's somebody else, like if you got somebody who's worth something or look like something, is somebody already somewhere probably waiting for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. And that's what we married people also have to go through that whole situation. So, like I said, whoever's doing it should cut it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's definitely a married thing because when you're single, like
you ain't got that. Okay, you don't want to give me nothing.
all right, cool.
I'm calling somebody else. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, that's definitely a married thing.
yeah. And I'm trying to figure out as far as married. It's a lot of things. When I tell you, sex is a big thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a big thing.
It's a big thing. You know.
It's definitely a big thing because it changes things with people.
Right.
Like it changes things, and it matters the quality of it. So it matters whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Right. And for me, I'm always amazed. I couldn't hang with. I'm glad I'm married.
Okay.
And I'm not dating in this generation.
Okay.
Because I was looking on social media.
That's always a problem. Let me just let you know that right now. That's always a problem.
And they asked random women, how long should a man last? Beacon?
I already know you heard something crazy on there.
When one of them chicks said an hour. I said, what? An hour? Are you joking me? An hour? Listen, I'm done.
Now, again, going back to the age thing, how old did the young lady look?
They was in their 20s.
Exactly. So that makes sense. Because when you're younger, again, you probably don't have all of the other things on you. See, you saying that because you thinking an hour, I got the young boy, I got to work, I got to be a husband. Like these are all the things that are going through your mind when you think about.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So then what's the problem with the hour?
Hour?
Oh, you just don't want to do it for an hour.
Hell no. An hour? What are we doing? What are we doing? We making a porno? Or
I mean, y'all might be, depending on what y'all doing.
Listen, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I'm not the man for some of these women out here.
No, listen.
I'm sorry. I got
you. But I'm just saying, if somebody in their 20s, I'm not thrown off by them saying they want to have sex for an hour. Like
I gotta take some type of help. Listen,
Coach said, help me, please.
Listen, I strongly believe, and I could be wrong. They need help with that. You gonna need you. Hold on. You need some type of stop laughing. You need some type of enhancement to help you go an hour. Okay, that's just me. Okay, because as I can remember. Once you release, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're talking about an hour straight. Would you?
So let me. You've never ever in your life had sex for an hour. That's what you said. That's
Straight?
What you're telling me?
Wait a minute. I had it for
straight?
an hour. I had it for an hour. We're talking. They talking about straight.
Yeah. So no release within the hour. You've never had.
No, hell no. I ain't never. No, I'm listen. No, I'm not there. No.
No, I'm just asking. It like.
No, never.
Okay. The reason I'm saying that is because I have, but it was when I was younger. That's what I'm saying. Like I have, but it was when I was younger.
No.
So that's why I'm saying, like, for somebody to say that to me now, I'm looking at you like you're crazy because I'm like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But for somebody younger to be saying that, and I don't know if every single time needs to be that. So. It's not like every single time needed to be that when I was younger, but I'm just saying it wasn't out of the realm for me to be able to do that.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because I talked to one of my young fellas that I know, and he said this is what a lot of these young dudes are doing. So I don't know how far back this has even started. They would take the Viagra so they can stay for an hour.
Yeah, see, to me that's dangerous. Like I never played that game. I never played the pills and all that.
Because you probably was a porno star. I don't know.
Whoa,
I don't know,
boy.
man. Okay, I'm sorry.
Slow down, boy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Calm down. Like,
okay, I put your business out there. My bad.
Down,
I'm sorry.
calm
My bad.
down.
Okay.
I'm saying that I never messed around with that stuff because I never knew what the long-term effects of that are. Like that's for people that really have serious issues. That's what it was meant for. I know. So my concern is that when you take that stuff too early, you don't know what kind of damage, long-term damage you could potentially be doing to yourself. And it might not be none.
But if you're talking about a chick talking about an hour and you may not be an hour, you're going to get help.
But it's the same thing that I said with regular dating when we talked about they want you to take them to $5 sign restaurants and all that. Stay in your lane.
Right. An hour
If she's saying an hour got to be every single time and you know that ain't you, then that's probably not the one for you then.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and obviously the conversation don't start there, but I'm just saying once y'all start to build a relationship to where y'all either talking about that or at least y'all starting to do it and you're starting to realize what her likes are and you realize that that's one of the things, you have a decision to make. Are you going to stay in that and try to do that every single time, or are you going to be like, you know what, baby, you got to go somewhere else because I can't do that.
Right. Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like it gets to a point, like even for me, right? Like if somebody expecting us to do like 3, 4, or 5 times in a day, that's probably not going to happen with me. Or let me say one session. I ain't gonna say it a day, but in one session, you try to get it and then go right back, and then get it and then go right back. Yeah, it's probably not happening. It's probably not happening at this stage of the game. It's probably not happening.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Round 1, solid. Round 2, maybe. Round 3, you done lost your mind. People got to live the next day. You understand what I'm saying to you? We got to live. I'll never forget the first time that happened to me. Looking at me for round 3. Round 3? Girl, you lucky we got round 2. Is you crazy?
Oh my God.
I'm just telling you.
Listen,
I'm just telling you, bro.
Listen.
And the times that I have been able to do round 3, I was just as shocked as they was. I was like, oh, you must be good at what you do, because I'm telling you right now.
You didn't. I'm over here crying.
Listen, I'm just telling you the truth, man.
Oh my God, you didn't use no enhancement?
No.
Okay.
I don't, because I just don't do that.
Okay.
I'm too nervous about long-term effects. Like I don't want to be the dude that's in my 40s and 50s and can't perform because of something I did when I was 20 or 18.
Okay, got you.
Like to me, and hopefully I don't get crucified for saying this, but I feel like our bodies were made how they are intended to be.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's natural things that you can do.
Right.
That they say may or may not work for stuff like that. But for me to start taking medications that I'm not sure about.
Right. Okay.
I just don't.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like there's a time in life where I'll have to explore that option.
Right.
And when I get there, then at least I know it's an option.
And then also, forgot about this. Also, when you married, you want some. Yo, listen, you got about 30 seconds, and I'm done after that.
Wait, 30 seconds?
I give you 2 pumps. Boom, boom. All right, I'm done.
No.
2 pumps.
That can't be life.
Listen, I'm telling you.
That could not be life.
Listen. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about I have been around some dudes, and they say you got about maybe a good strong minute, and you better get yours off.
A minute? Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Married? No.
That's crazy. A minute? What you supposed to do in a minute? They probably can't get their clothes off in a minute.
Listen. I was just like, wow. I said 60 seconds?
Yeah.
60 seconds. Boom, boom. Better get yours off before I get mine off.
That's terrible.
Hey, listen.
That's terrible.
Hey, man.
They got some other problems going on in their marriage. That's what's going on. Because there's no way you telling me.
You'll be shocked.
I would be. You absolutely right. I would be shocked if somebody
where,
told me, yeah, we do it for, all I got is a minute for my wife, or all I got is a minute for my husband. Like, what?
Now, a lot of women ain't going to do that. Men will do that quick.
That's a shame. That's crazy.
You get married, these are the moving parts that we're talking about.
So are you telling me that when you get married, that the quality of the sex goes down? Is that what you're telling me?
It will go down depending on the two people.
Okay.
Because there are times when you with this person for so long and it just seemed like it's just regular. So the quality has went down. I say for that, you got to know how to spice it up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you get comfortable and you just like, we just having sex. All right, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know how to spice it up. Sometimes you got to go down. There's other ways of pleasing your partner.
No, because when you said that, I was trying to make sure I understood what you were saying because, like, you were just talking regularly and then you just said that. So I'm like, all right, I think I know what you're talking about.
Right,
All
right.
right. That's why I stopped like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you gotta know how to spice it up, please your partner,
Right.
and this is where the talking comes about. What do your partner like?
Right.
Where it doesn't seem like it's stagnant and it's just the same old thing.
Yeah, because that's boring.
Right.
Even as a single man, that's boring.
Right. You know.
So
and it didn't. But now this is one thing I do believe in. What may be freaky to you? What may be freaky to you is not freaky to another person.
true.
So, whatever your thing is, that's what your thing is.
Right.
When me and Angie first started,
Whoa.
it's cool.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to know y'all like this.
Okay. When me and Angie first started dating, the first thing I said when it came to that, I'm not into handcuffs. What's the matter? But you got to understand why.
I mean, reasonably so. I understand if your reason is why I think it is.
Yeah. It's that reason.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes sense.
Right. And I was like, and she
Episode 1, season 2, y'all.
Yeah, and she understood it. She
Right.
like, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, I said no because I need a hand free, just in case you try
I
something.
got break free.
No, just in case you gotta try something, I'm gonna punch you in your.
Oh Lord, I know you ain't threaten my cousin like that. Cousin, he threatened you like that?
Yeah, if you try something.
I could have sworn we don't condone violence on here.
Listen. You gotta understand. I come home, and I know people doing a lot of freaky stuff. Some dudes is taking it. Wiggle.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Listen, whatever you want to say. So,
but you say, okay, I get what you're saying now. You saying with that being the case, you ain't want her to get the wrong idea.
I didn't know. This is our first time. I don't know what she into. I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
So remember, communication. So now I'm letting you know from the rip before we indulge in this situation. Handcuffs, take it off the board. You know what I'm saying? It's all about us conversating, us having a communication.
Yeah, no, that's real.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't do that.
That's real.
They oh no. And somebody say, oh, let's try this. And then you find yourself in a situation. Hold on. Stop laughing. You find yourself in a situation that you don't know how to get out of. So you gotta be, you gotta be careful.
But you gotta be smart about it.
Yeah. I remember I gotta tell this one time. I remember this one time. You know how you're having a great time and you try a different move. I caught a Charlie horse.
That's the worst.
Oh, the worst ain't the word.
That's the worst.
I was like, get off.
That stops everything.
It shut
that stops everything.
It shut the whole night down.
Yeah. No, I don't know about the whole night.
It shut it the whole. I was like, get off me. I don't even want you looking at me. Listen,
Come on, coach. You're supposed to take a 20.
Listen, I didn't even want you looking at me because I thought you might have gave me another Charlie horse. Don't even look at me. Listen, because I had never caught one before.
Ever in life?
If I'm running track, yeah, but not in that.
Not in that situation. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
And when that happened, it was a very eye-opening, shocking situation for me. And so me thinking one thing in reality setting, oh my God, I'm getting older now. And that's what I thought. And I was like, oh my God. And so it was like, yo, the session had to stop. I was like, I'm done.
All right, coach, I gotta help you out here.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So water, man. Water and what else? Like peanut butter and bananas. You gotta add that to your diet.
Listen to what I just said to you. You're not listening to me. See, that's the problem.
I am listening to you.
I said to you.
I'm trying to help you out, coach.
I said to you, I sat up there,
Uh-huh.
and when I first time I have ever caught it, what you're telling me, water, peanut butter, that wasn't on my mind. I'm
No,
trying to stop this pain.
No, listen, I'm not saying that in that moment you should have ran and grabbed those things.
It wasn't running nowhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying throughout your regular diet, if you add those things, that should help you to prevent that in the future.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's what
now,
I'm saying,
I
along
just
with
take my time. So we don't even have this problem no more. Okay, I just take my time. I'm a grown man. Damn it. I just take my time.
Oh, listen, them Charlie horses ain't no joke.
No,
man.
they not no joke. No.
That's a bad situation.
No, they not no joke at all.
Yeah, that's a bad situation.
So,
but speaking of Charlie horses and I guess some of the other stuff we talking about, the conversation around good sex versus bad sex.
Okay.
So there's a such thing as good sex. There's a such thing as bad sex, and I think that is an important conversation because even though you can't truly identify for everybody what good sex is, like it's kind of hard to do that because everybody has like their own preferences and things that they like and stuff like that. It is important for you and your partner to have an understanding of what good sex looks like. Because if you don't, I think that also goes into some of what you were talking about earlier when you were talking about like that timing thing. So like when you were saying somebody says, all right, well, I only got a minute for sex. It's like, all right, well, wait a minute, hold on. That sounds a little selfish. That sounds like bad sex to me. Whereas for them, it might be good sex. So I guess the question I'm asking is, what are your thoughts around good sex versus bad sex?
Okay, for a married person.
Okay.
And if you're married or getting ready to get married or you're in a relationship, good sex is when you know your partner's body.
Okay.
That's not good sex. That's great sex because that's what you're going to wind up having.
Right.
Because you understand your partner's different moans, different the way they move.
Right.
I can touch you here.
Right.
That's good sex.
Right. I agree.
Bad sex is when you're trying to figure it out. That's bad sex. I mean, really bad sex. I'm trying to figure you out. Well, damn, we've been married all these years. What do you mean you're trying to figure it out? That's bad sex.
That does
from a married point
I was about to say, that
view.
sounds like bad sex from a married standpoint.
Right. So as a single man, what do you consider is good sex and bad sex?
So I think good sex is a lot of what you just talked about.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the good and great sex is going to happen when you're paying attention to how the person is responding to what you're doing. So I think that's good sex. I think good sex is just paying attention to what your partner actually likes and not what you think they like.
Right.
Because I think sometimes people go into situations and they got to move or they got an idea of what they think.
Or they looked at porno and say, I'm going to try that move.
Exactly.
That's
it's
not
like
good.
That,
Right.
She don't even like that at all.
Right.
So it's like, that's good sex to me is, you know, like you said, how does she respond when you touch her? How does she respond in certain situations? And to me, the body never lies either. So to me, when you're doing the right stuff, the body's going to tell you. Like her body's going to respond. Even if she try to clown you at the end and be like, oh, it was all right and this and that.
Right.
Nah, the body's going to, trust me,
Right.
the body's going to tell you
Right.
that you did the right thing. I think bad sex is because I think you said for married people, it's when you're still trying to figure it out.
Right.
I would say bad sex when you're single. When you're single is when you don't even care about the other person.
Ooh, that can go for married too.
Yeah. So the reason I'm saying that in particular with being single is because I think when it comes to sex and being single, there's naturally some level of reservation sometimes because of the fact that you're both single. So you're not going to do everything with that person because that person is not your person.
Got you.
Now, y'all might build up to a point to where y'all feel comfortable with each other and y'all are willing to do more.
Okay.
But I'm just saying as a single person, if it's still early and new, y'all probably are not doing a lot of things.
Right.
Because, you know, y'all not committed to each other. So it's like, okay.
Or you may not want to scare that person.
That could be that too.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying that the bad sex is when the person doesn't even care. Like they don't even care about what you like at all. Because it's one thing for you to be a little reserved. It's a whole other thing for you to not even care.
That's true.
About what the person likes at all. And to me, that's terrible sex.
Right.
Like I'd rather just not if it's going to be like that.
Right. And a lot of times, also, we got to remember, good sex starts when we're communicating from the beginning. Okay, these are the things I like. These are the things. That's good sex because I'm starting to understand or I do something, say no, and your partner, if they're doing something, he or she doing something that you don't like, it's your job to tell them that's not it.
Right.
Right. Your partner think they are doing something and you don't say nothing, then the person gonna keep on doing it.
Exactly.
And now, if we're single, that you get talked about.
Mm-hmm.
If you married, it'll come up in
I was
argument.
gonna say, you probably gonna still get talked about.
Yeah, you go, but they may not say nothing, and then when an argument come up, now it comes up because we didn't talk about. I didn't, and the person that you talked to, like, I didn't know.
Right.
You didn't, so
now, in saying that though, you do have to be careful with how you communicate it. Like the way that you communicate it is very sensitive when it comes to sex, because everybody goes into sex, or at least this is my perspective. I believe that everybody goes into sex thinking that they know what they're doing. It's not until somebody tells you that something doesn't work or something isn't good that you realize that your sex, or maybe that thing that you do with sex, is not good. But I believe everybody goes into it thinking they have an idea of what they're doing.
Okay.
They might be a little nervous if they don't have a lot of experience or if they don't do it often.
Okay.
But I think everybody has a certain level of confidence that
Right.
they go into sex
And
with.
then you got some people say, "Oh, this is my patented move because this
You
person."
just move.
I'm just saying, this person, it worked it before.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you trying on another person.
Right.
Man, if you don't get that out of here with that foolishness. But again, that's where it comes down to the communication.
So that brings me back. Thanks. Because the communication piece, I'm saying you have to be very careful with how you communicate when something doesn't work. Because I think, and that's why I'm saying people go into sex with a certain level of confidence. Because if you're too harsh in telling the person that whatever it is that they do don't work, like if you are very like just nasty about it or just rude about it, you could crush that person's confidence, and now they might not want to do anything or try anything with you anymore.
Well, it depends. If it's bad sex, you're probably trying to hurt them.
If y'all married?
No, no. If you're married and there's bad sex, you already knew it.
Wait, you already knew it before y'all got married?
Yeah.
You're saying? Okay.
Yeah. Not unless both of y'all are virgins.
Okay.
But
what about if in the event of what you were talking about earlier, when things change? So it may not have been bad sex in the beginning. Maybe over time, somebody's attention to detail has kind of filtered off a little bit.
I got you.
Or maybe somebody just changed. Because from what I understand with women, their bodies change and their hormones change. So maybe it's not even a thing of they're not attracted to you or they don't like your sex. It's just that they just don't respond or want it the same way that they did at a certain point.
At that moment, as the spouse, this is where you should be attentive to, like you said before, understanding the body moment. If something changes, this is where the conversation comes at.
Right.
But a lot of people don't want to have a conversation and keep on doing the thing that just
don't work.
That does not work. Oh, I'm gonna keep on. She ain't saying nothing, so I know I'm killing it.
Right.
And you telling your homies, oh yeah, I'm killing it. No, you're not, dog. You're trash.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, all that talking about what you do and all that with your friends, like that ain't never been my thing.
Men really don't do that.
Yeah.
Boys, they do that. Men,
I like that.
Boys will talk about their conquers.
I like that.
Men, we just look at our conquers.
We just look at our
We just look at it.
Yeah, I'm dying.
You know what I'm saying? So let me say that one more time. Boys talk about who they conquered. Men, we just look at who we conquered. That's something from the
funny.
coach. That's all.
That's
Remember
that.
that.
Coach. No, that's good. That's a good word. That's a good word.
Men be, so it is.
So yeah, so that communication thing is huge, because I agree with you that when it's not going right, you definitely need to talk about it. But I definitely think that you have to be, and I hate to say sensitive, but you do have to be somewhat sensitive in how you communicate when something's not working.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
So it's not always that you necessarily in the moment have to say this ain't working. Sometimes you get through it and then y'all have a conversation afterwards. Or
no.
you could have it. So that's what I'm saying. You could also have it during. Like if it's not working, like if it's like legit not working, it's not comfortable, it's not enjoyable at all during, then yeah, you let the person know there too.
Most married, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead. No,
Most married people, if it ain't working out, they're gonna let you know right there. Yo, sweetheart,
right,
baby, whatever word you use,
right,
that wasn't it.
Right.
You should not do that again. Not we, you
Right.
the one that did it, so
Right.
don't do that no more. You know, and I believe that is the person, the person feeling small get hurt because why? Because it's just you two.
Right.
You ain't trying to expose them.
Right.
You know, so it's like, okay, all right. Yeah, let's not do that again. You know what I mean? Come on over here. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And that really is how it should be too, because I want to make sure that gets talked about too. Is whatever the issue is that you don't like, talk about it with your partner, single or married.
Right.
Because there's issues where people don't say nothing to their partner, but they go out and tell their girlfriends or tell people out in the street. And now you got people looking at your partner crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, your partner don't even know because you ain't told them nothing. But you telling everybody else.
Right.
So that's another thing too. Like, don't be having your partner looking crazy out here.
Exactly.
Especially when you married. Because the other part of that too is what you talk about you don't like. The person you telling your business to, they might be like, "Oh, he do that." They ain't gonna say it to you. They might be like, "Oh, he do that."
Right.
So now you done opened up a door for somebody else.
Right. Oh yeah.
So,
and then all of a sudden you see your girlfriend. She got
all of a
something
sudden
tight.
she gonna come over there all the time.
Right. And she got tight stuff on. You know what I mean? Us men, we just, hey, how you doing? Right. How you doing, sister so and so? You know what I mean? After a while, it ain't sister so and so. It's just, hey, how you doing, Miss? Hey, how you doing, Ruth? Hey,
Ruth, that old lady.
listen. Old ladies even dressing a little scandalous sometimes. Listen, I ain't want to put nobody's name out there. I'm just saying dying. Ruth, you know. So there's a term, and whatever term you would, banking system. That's the term I like to use.
Okay. And
banking system is, you know how bank store stuff, and you can get at a later time.
Okay.
There's a lot of times us as men, we don't understand the banking system.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. So banking system is, okay, I'm going to store this money here. So at another time I can withdraw and use the money.
Okay.
Well, if I'm with my wife during the day, hey, how you doing? Little text. I'm putting money in, I'm depositing a good vibe.
I see what
you know what I'm saying? I'm depositing good vibe. I learned that in marriage class. Okay. I'm depositing good vibes to my wife. Hey, baby. And it may not be for the night. It can be a couple days later on, but I'm just setting stuff up. Hey, babe, how you doing? You having a good time? You may bring flowers. You may do something. You know what? It ain't got to be always monetary. If you got little kids, you know, babe, go ahead and get some rest. I got them. Women, whoo, they love that. You mean tell me, you got the kids, especially if they little kids and they've been in the house with them kids all day. Go ahead, look at TV. Come on, I got the kids. You that's a lot. That's more than money. And you just study banking, you know, good vibes. You depositing good vibes. I call that the banking system, because you're going to be able to withdraw. You're going to be able to cash out. You're going to, and they're going to be willing to let you withdraw. So I call it the banking system.
No, I like that. And I think that brings up another important element when it comes to sex, which is the mental aspect.
Yes.
Because sex is not all physical. Like it's a mental aspect to it too.
Yes, it is.
And I think what you're mentioning right now is the focus on, or just being attentive to that woman, or to your partner.
Right.
Because in you doing those little things, she's storing it away, like you're saying, like a bank. She's storing it away in the bank, like saying, "Wow, like he really is paying attention," or "Wow, he understands that this is a hardship for me and he's easing my
Right.
burden.
Right.
Then it's going to come to a point where she's going to say, "Let me return the favor,"
Yes. Yes.
and that's the part that you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's the part I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Return the favor.
Yeah. So and that's very important. That's
Yeah.
very important.
Yes,
I
it
like
is.
that terminology of the banking system and that reference because it's accurate. I mean,
I have to give props to Reverend Frazier and Sister Laurie Frazier. They're the ones that the first time I've heard of it.
they're marriage counselors. Or
They're
something?
marriage counselors
Okay.
at Christian Stronghold Baptist Church.
Okay.
And we go to them. We're in their marriage class on Friday nights at 6:00.
Okay.
And they are the first time I ever heard somebody say that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shucks. So when we came to this part of the episode, I was going to bring that in. I was going to see that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
a lot
no,
of
that's a
married
good
people don't understand that.
You know, that's a good thing.
You know, it ain't all about what I'm spending.
Mm-hmm.
It's what am I doing?
Right, and it's not about the spending. It's not also just only about what you're doing in the bedroom.
Right.
Because there's things that you can do that lead up to when they get there to get them excited to be there.
Right, exactly. There you go.
So that's why when you said the whole minute thing, the minute thing to me was weird because it's like, well, why would somebody ever consider or want to have like I understand like quickies and all that. I got that.
Right.
But if
That's
you're
a quickie then.
No. But I'm saying like if your whole thing around sex or your whole mentality around sex is 1 minute, like if that's the normal, that's not good.
Okay, right. I see what you're saying. Right.
Yeah, that's not.
And that's
good.
where you need help.
Right.
That's
because-
where the prescription needs to kick in.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because something's wrong. That means you're not communicating or you're not being attentive to what the other person needs and that they don't care. So it's just
Right.
like, so something's not right when that's like your
Right.
norm. That should never be your norm.
Right.
Because even if you take into account like foreplay,
Mm-hmm.
that is more than a minute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it right. So that's why when I hear a minute, it's
It
like,
depends. Foreplay can be less than a minute.
it can be.
That's where the banking system, because you already foreplayed.
Right.
So then the banking system come in,
Right.
and you may only need foreplay 30 seconds.
But my thing is the reason why I'm saying foreplay is because a lot of guys don't acknowledge that part of it.
Right.
They want to get right to it. It's
Right.
just like when you with an oven. Like when you want to bake something, you don't just hit the temperature on the oven and it gets to that temperature and you just throw it in there and start cooking. You
Right.
got to preheat the oven.
Okay, since that's not my lane,
All right, so anytime that you put something in the oven, right?
yes.
If you want it to get up, let's just say you got to cook it at 400 degrees, 425 degrees.
I mean, I know what you're
when
saying.
you put 420 degrees or 400 degrees on the oven, it's not going to just automatically, as soon as you hit that number and hit
Right.
start, be that temperature.
Right, and a lot of
It has to build up to get to that temperature. So that's what I'm saying. The same thing with sex.
right,
A woman might want to do it,
right,
but just because she wants to do it, don't mean that you just go in and go pound town all
Right.
crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I got
you got to
you,
warm
yes.
up. You got to ease into
Right,
it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So that's what I'm saying. You got to preheat the oven.
okay. I salute you. I salute you. And yeah, a lot
But
of
you can preheat the oven in multiple ways. It may be foreplay. It may be the banking system you're talking about. It may be communication.
Right.
It may be. It could be a number of different ways that you do that.
right, but you gotta show some type of initiative
Exactly.
of it's not just about sex.
Exactly. And I'm gonna flip it too because I'm gonna let
go
the
ahead.
ladies know too. Ladies, sometimes we need our oven preheated too. Like it ain't because here's the thing. Like women sometimes think that just because we get the erection and like we just supposed to just get hard because we know we getting it and just go right in.
Right.
But it's like sometimes no, we want to be stimulated too. We want to know that you care about us too.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
ladies, that preheating the oven thing, that's just not a thing for y'all. Sometimes we want to get warmed up too.
Do you hear it's coming from the beacon that is single? Good. I'm sorry. I had to put that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm
So
sorry
as a
about that.
married man, you don't feel that way? Like
yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I was about
But
to say.
again, we understand each other.
Yeah,
We
y'all in a
communicate.
different space.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
So
Sometimes I wanna. I love you, baby. I love you too, baby. All right, let's go.
all right, let's go. We got that out the way.
Yeah, we got that out the way. We got the formalities out the way. Come on, let's go. Nah, just joking. And then 30 seconds later, this me. I'm snoring.
Yeah, I'm dying. So I guess one other thing too is because now that you mentioned that part of it, since my cousin be putting you to bed,
Put me to bed.
How do you keep things exciting? And I think we talked about the importance of that earlier, but I don't think we really had that conversation. So in terms of keeping things exciting without getting too graphic, like what are some ideas you have around that or thoughts that you have around that?
As far as a married person, to keep it exciting, it's about the communication.
Okay.
Because like you said, things change. We get older.
Okay.
And so what might excite me where you may do this one thing, it may not excite me now. It may not make me excited now.
Right.
And so if I know I'm on the verge of getting ready to get some, I'm setting everything up. There's no way in the world I'm arguing. We're not having no argument. There's no need to argue. I'm setting myself up. I'm doing everything, and then we get an argument. No, we're not doing that. No. So no, I don't know. I've been married. I don't know. I just for my. We ain't doing that one. We ain't gonna say for my wife, but we won't do that one.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, we won't do that. But I believe a married person. It's just the little things. For me, it's the little things you do. You know, do you want to try different things? You can. Keep it exciting. Y'all both go somewhere. Even if you go to a bar and you don't drink, you know, she's there first. You come in, Lola. Hey, how you doing today? You know, now with me and Angie, I go shoot my game again. Hey, babe, how you doing today? You know what she tell me? Oh, that's weak. And just walk away. I'll be like, what? I said, that's my best game. My best I shot at you. She like, Freddie, that's weak. Did not get my feelings. Already got you anyway. I don't care. But yeah, just little things like that. You go out to eat. It's just the little things, and you know what put a smile on your
Spouse.
On your spouse's face. And we talk about, you spice it up. For me, again, it depends on how freaky you are. That's the best way I can do it.
Okay.
What about somebody that may be single, or because I don't want to say just you. I'm talking about
I think for single people, I think it really depends. I mean, obviously, if you have a person that even though y'all are single, if y'all been dealing with each other for a while, you kind of run into the same scenario in which certain things might get old or grow stale and that sort of thing. So I think it's just a matter of constantly communicating about sex. Constantly being attentive about sex. That's how you keep things exciting to me. And not doing the same thing over and over and over. Like, and I'm just using this as an example.
I got you.
But like, if every time y'all have sex, it's, oh, let's go to the bedroom. Oh, let's do this position and in this order and this sequence. After a while, that's gonna be boring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got more than one room in your place. Like, spice it up a little bit. Go other places.
Right.
And then sometimes you can plan to be exciting. So like you talked about, like the whole somewhat role playing where you go to a bar and play that game like y'all don't know each other. And that. You can do stuff like that. You can also do just different locations. Like maybe y'all just go and get like a nice little room or something. And make a romantic setting out of it and do that type of stuff.
Right.
So just like little stuff like that, you'd be surprised can go a long way.
Right.
So that would be my 2 cents.
Okay. Yeah. So and sex is a big thing in marriage. It's a real big thing in marriage. Sex. Well, it can be a big thing in marriage. And then it can be not a real big thing. It depends on who's the two couples are.
Okay.
That plays a lot in how much do we communicate.
You mean the two people? Because you said the two couples.
I mean the two people
in the relationship.
In the relationship.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it depends on how much are we talking.
Yeah, that's
about
huge.
What we like and we don't like. Because there are times where the person may not know, and you You assume, and that's the worst thing to do.
Don't assume.
Don't assume. It's the worst thing.
Don't assume.
Right. And that would what I have to say. What about you?
No, I think from keeping things exciting, I think we covered that.
Yeah.
The communication part that you just talked about, as usual, that always is the fallback. But the communication is key.
Right.
Communicate what you like, communicate what you don't like. Make sure that you're being attentive to your partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your final perspective?
Shoot, I might have just gave it. But
okay then. All right.
I might have just gave it. But I think my final perspective, if I didn't just say this, is to be attentive to the person that is your partner when it comes to sex. Sex doesn't start in the bedroom. Be attentive to what that person is stressing over during the day, because maybe it's just as simple as you listening to whatever it is that's stressful for them, and giving them a place, an opportunity to vent about whatever that is. That might get the party started for you.
Right.
And then also just being willing to be open to new things. Like it shouldn't be the same exact playbook every single time. Like that gets old, that gets boring. So just try to, spice it up a little bit, switch things up a little bit, but do it within reason of your partner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you know your partner ain't, and you was talking about the handcuffs, if you know your partner don't like handcuffs, don't try to spice it up with handcuffs.
Don't spice it up with handcuffs. You might have handcuffs and you get a black eye. So you gotta be careful. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I caught a flashback. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh Lord, not a flashback.
No, just
Oh Lord.
Go ahead.
But you know what? But I think that is my final perspective.
Okay.
So.
I think my final perspective is sex is a great thing if it's done right. Sex is something that two people should share. That's what I believe. Two people share sex. And that's basically my final perspective is sex is great if it's done right. If it's not done right, you have to work on it. It's no big thing. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so that's all I really have to say on that.
What's your final perspective?
Yeah, that's my final perspective, man.
All right.
It really is. So on that note, I'm the coach.
And I'm the beacon. And this has been the Point Blank Perspectives Podcast.